You're watching the Wellness Hour, news that makes you healthier. I'm Randy Alvarez. Today's topic, what you need to know if you're considering hair restoration or hair transplant surgery. With us, we have the leader in the industry, Bosley. With us representing, we have Dr. David Deutsch. Dr. Deutsch, welcome to the program.
Thank you. Good morning, Randy.
So you do the procedures in what, the Beverly Hills
Yes,
location?
in the Beverly Hills location, absolutely.
Now, how long have you been with Bosley?
I've been with Bosley for 13 years.
Tell us a little bit about Bosley. It seems that everybody knows who Bosley is, right? But who's the typical patient coming in for hair these days?
So the average age of a patient coming in is about 30 to 50, age 30 to 50, and mostly men, about 90% men. But really, anybody that's noticing hair loss should come in as a patient. First time you notice hair loss, that's when you should do something about it. And that's what you can do is come in for, a consultation.
So are there a lot of people that are bothered by their hair? Is it like that big of a deal for many of these men?
I think it's a huge deal. I mean, about 50% of the male population is going to suffer hair loss after the age of 20. And I'd say that a significant proportion of those patients are bothered by their hair loss. It's the type of thing where maybe they look in the mirror and say, wow, I'm looking old. Or they're always wearing a hat. Or they're hesitant about going out into social situations because they're concerned about their change in their appearance. So it is a huge issue.
You are in the hair transplant business, hair restoration business, and the leader. How important is hair, in your opinion?
The hair is incredibly important.
You probably think it's one of the most important things.
Yeah, I mean, hair is incredibly important. I mean, if you look back even at biblical times, you think about Samson. He presumably got his strength from his hair. When you look at all the classic and iconic images of youth and power and success, it's around a lot of hair. You look at the guy driving in a convertible and his hair flying all over the place. Right. It just conveys an image of, as I said, success, youth, power. If you look at movies and TV, if they want somebody to look old, what do? They give them a receding hairline and give them hair loss. Good point. Conversely, if they want somebody to look young, they give them a lower hairline or more hair.
Like even in Benjamin Button, as you say this, as he was born old, but his hair started getting thicker and thicker and thicker as he...
Absolutely. So it really is, I can't emphasize how important it is. I mean, I know it's something that people take for granted, but it's incredibly important.
Bosley, I've talked to a lot of the doctors. I spoke to your medical director, and he's a researcher, right? Dr. Washenik.
Yes.
And he says, Randy, if there is something out there to help with, to keep the hair you have, if there's any new technique, he said, we're using it. We're aware of it. We're on top of it. And going into this, everybody's heard of Bosley, at least I've heard of Bosley. And what I've learned is you guys are, as you say, you're meticulous about the hair follicle. What does that mean? To be meticulous about that.
So first of all, Bosley are the leaders. We've been around for 40 years. We have a tremendous amount of experience, and experience matters. And the results for our patient matter. And this is all that we do. I mean, day in, day out, this is all that we do. We're incredibly meticulous from start to finish.
And you actually meet the patient.
Oh, absolutely.
You mark their heads, and I mean, you're right there.
Absolutely. So the process starts with a consultation. Somebody identifies, hey, I've got some hair loss, I'm not happy about it. So they come in for a consultation. They meet with one of the physicians, one of the doctors. A diagnosis is made concerning the hair loss. We go through a treatment plan, and then ultimately, if it's decided that it's going to be a hair restoration via hair transplant, we come up with a plan of where we're going to put the hairs, how many grafts, et cetera. So this is all under physician supervision. Then the day of the procedure, the physician, doctor will come in, draw out the hairline or the particular area that we're going to work in. We'll mark out and map out where we get the donor hair from, and then the rest of the procedure is completely under physician control.
How much is art, how much is science? You talked in terms of artistry designing this.
Yeah, I think it's a healthy mix of both, with maybe a little bit more emphasis on the artistry. And the reason I say that is the science is well founded. We know that we can take hair from the back of the head where it's donor dominant, meaning it's protected from the effects of genetics and hormones, and move it to the top or the front, and we know it's going to be permanent. So we know that science is solid. The art part is what's going to give you that really natural, artistic looking approach and result.
We're going to take a quick break. We come back, I want to see some of the photos that you brought us. You're watching the Wellness Hour. I'm Randy Alvarez. We'll be right back.
The results I've achieved from Bosley have been exceptional. This is my real hair. It's permanent. You cut it, it grows. I can do with it whatever I want. This is mine.
I can comb, cut, wash, style, do whatever I want with it.
With Bosley, I got my hair back, I got my confidence back. There's not a day that goes by that I don't look in the mirror and say, that's the best money I've ever spent.
Bosley works for 3 reasons: prevention, retention, and restoration. And here's the proof that that strategy is fantastic.
We want to prevent further hair loss, we want to retain the existing hair that you currently have, and we want to restore the hair that you've already lost. So if we can put those 3 things together, it's going to give you the result that you're looking to achieve.
I would wear a hat. I would try to cut my hair differently.
When I was in college, I would notice more hair in the drain. I didn't want to believe that I was losing hair.
By the time I went to Bosley, this entire area here, it was gone. I look back and I didn't realize how much it affected me. I can't imagine now life without hair.
We combine all the medical development, the scientific development, and translate that into an artistic outcome. You want it to be artistically wonderful. You want it to look like a great head of hair, and that's what we pride ourselves in at Bosley.
I mean, you have a book and a kit that you send to people for free. Is
Yes,
that right?
correct.
I read the kit, and I was telling you, it's like I got excited about the whole thing. I mean, you learn quite a bit, especially for me, on how to stop or slow down hair loss. And that's what that was my takeaway. Now let's take a look at some of the photos.
Okay. This gentleman here, mid-30s, all right? Interesting, he told me that he used to look in the mirror and say, hey, I look good, I look handsome. And then he started losing his hair. And then all he could do is look in the mirror and say, I look bald. So he really lost a lot of self-confidence. A lot of guys in that predicament will think I'm too far gone.
Yeah, he looks too bald.
No,
for the
not at all. I
procedure.
mean, this is an ideal patient, ideal candidate. No, not too far gone whatsoever. And we have treatment strategies for all sorts of hair loss. So he's an ideal patient. As you can see, got a phenomenal result. Another interesting thing about him is his grandmother actually sent him in. She saw the changes in him. He used to go and play basketball all the time with his friends. Used to love it. As he started losing his hair, he had to wear a hat. He didn't really want to wear the hat while he was playing basketball. He became very image aware because he lost his hair, was very concerned about his image, was wearing a hat all the time, and stopped playing basketball. His friends were wondering, what happened to him, where he was. So his grandmother actually sent him in. After this procedure, with all the hair that he got, he's back playing basketball. I don't think he's dunking the ball, but I mean, he's having a great time back playing basketball, and also getting involved, out into the dating market. A lot of patients come in and they equate not having hair with not being good looking. I can't tell
He
you.
looks more handsome. That's for sure.
Well, I can't tell you how many patients come in and they're like, Doc, make me more handsome. And I'll
They
say,
say
look,
that.
look, you're already handsome. I'm just going to get you more hair. But that's their perception. That's what they think is going on. All right, so here's another picture.
All right.
This gentleman's a conductor, and he was concerned because he stands in front of a lot of people. He's also in studios a lot and was concerned about his appearance when standing up. So a lot of his professional aspect drove him into this, but also in his personal life. He came in, had a procedure. You can see the results, looks fantastic, and is very confident now about standing in front of a crowd, whether he's in a studio or in a music hall in front of 5,000 people.
A lot of people. In fact, I spoke to your medical director. He said there's tens of millions of men that don't like their receding hairline.
Right.
And many of them don't do anything about it. What's your take on why they don't do it? Because now it's become mainstream.
Absolutely. No, it's absolutely mainstream. I think there's a couple of things that hold people back. One is, I alluded to this before, is kind of that stigma, that public, that perception out there of the plugs and a very unnatural looking appearance, which again, I emphasize that's old technology.
Yeah, these guys don't look like that.
No, not at all. We don't do that anymore. So I think that's there. I also think that there's still a little bit of embarrassment. People are, the vanity issue. They're like, well, I don't really need to do this. I'm a little embarrassed. But you know what? If something's wrong, if you don't like your appearance, whether it's your hair, whether it's your ears, whether it's your waist, do something about it. Those techniques are available, and it can be done seamlessly and get a great result.
And we're out of time. What do you want people to know about Bosley?
I want people to know that if you're concerned about hair loss, if it's bothering you, come to Bosley. All right, you come in for a free consultation. It might very well be the best decision you've ever made. Can I just show you one more photo?
Sure, one more.
Okay. So this is a gentleman that was back on the job market, had been unemployed and was back looking for a job, and was concerned that he thought his appearance wasn't going to be commensurate with somebody they wanted to hire. Came in, had some procedures, got a great result, and sure enough, about 6 months after that was hired. Got a new job, is very is very secure about his position, has a tremendous more self-confidence. And this really translates to all aspects of your life. You know, if you go in for a job interview and you're confident about yourself, that's going to come through. That's going to come through to your employer, and it really will help with
So you see, you see guys come in one way, they get their hair back, and they act differently. Is that what you're saying?
I see, Randy, I see absolute transformations. Another interesting thing that happens is it's kind of this positive domino effect. Guy will come in. A lot of times guys, when they lose their hair, they grow facial hair to try to offset that. When guys are young, they grow facial hair to make themselves look a little bit older. When guys are old, they get rid of their facial hair to make themselves look a little bit younger. So we'll have guys that come in with facial hair, loss on top. They have a transplant done. They get a great result. They get rid of their facial hair. Maybe they're a little bit overweight. They start working out. They lose weight. They get into great shape. And we see this just whole transformation that started with the hair restoration.
Dr. Deutsch, I want to thank you for coming on the program.
Thank you, Randy.
We're also going to have one of your associates up next.
Great.
And more about Bosley and hair. You're watching The Wellness Hour. I'm Randy Alvarez. We'll be right back.
I wanted to react soon before I didn't have to deal with anything very major, like losing a ton of hair. And romantically, yeah, I mean, I could look people in the eye now, and I know they're not like staring at the top of my head.
When you look at the before pictures and you look at me now, it's like a different person. I even have a different personality. I've been bodybuilding for 16 years. I've only competed in the last year. Without this Bosley procedure, I wouldn't be able to do it, period. Now, I don't even think about the fact that I used to have a problem with hair loss because it's been corrected.
Hey everybody, I'm Dean Banowitz, Hollywood hair guy, celebrity stylist. Everybody asks how they can look younger. And when you have a fuller, thicker head of hair, you're gonna look a lot younger. Well, people always think I do have the most amazing hair. They don't realize that I actually have had a Bosley restoration. Since I've had my restoration done, I've probably sent close to 50 people to Bosley. Not only because it's amazing and it works, but they guarantee it. And the key is it's prevention, retention, and restoration. Now, I have a full head of hair, beautiful, shiny hair that I can color, I can cut, and I can style it any way. I can do all of that, whatever I want, because now I have hair.
When I first started noticing I was losing my hair, I was about 28. One of the first triathlons I ever did. All I was thinking about was pulling off my swim cap and how bad my hair was gonna look. I look back and I didn't realize how much it affected me until after I got it done. If I have any regrets, it's that I didn't call Bosley sooner.
For me, it was more, I call it a preemptive strike. Let me get in there and do something now before it gets worse. Hair loss is progressive. If you do nothing about it, you know, it's just going away. So with the help of Bosley, it enabled me to retain the hair that I had and restore the hair that I left. So I was ahead of it.
I spent 18 years trying to fight my hair loss, but it was on a daily basis that I could look at a towel or look at a pillow and say, you're losing this battle. Bosley gave me my hair back. I cut this hair, I wash this hair. I mess this hair up if I want to mess this hair up.
We combine all the medical development, the scientific development, and translate that into an artistic outcome. You want it to be artistically wonderful. You want it to look like a great head of hair, and that's what we pride ourselves in at Bosley.
You're watching The Wellness Hour, news that makes you healthier. I'm Randy Alvarez. We're here with Bosley physician, Dr. Edwin Suttleson. Dr. Suttleson, welcome to the program.
Yeah, good to be here, Andy. Thank you.
Now, you're one of the more experienced guys with Bosley, 9,000 plus of these procedures.
Yeah, I didn't start off that way. I was the youngest guy at Bosley when I started there 18 years ago and just chipping away at it. And
what changes have you seen? And why? How does experience really matter?
Well, there's a couple of factors. First of all, the technology changes, right? So you used to have larger grafts that were placed and they looked a little uneven, and everybody knows that look. And then over a fairly short time after I joined, the grafts got smaller, the distribution got more even, the naturalness improved. And that was a big watershed event in hair transplantation, where guys could have a hair transplant and it would look perfect, just undetectable. And that really helped. And then at Bosley, you know, we've been around 40 years, and guys walk into that office with every sort of hair restoration that's ever been done. And so I know what goes wrong, what goes right, how to fix what's wrong, how to help people, and then you know, with that massive experience, it's very helpful for the patients to get accurate information and know what can be done.
Now, you've had a hair transplant yourself by Dr. Bosley.
Yes, I did, 2007.
I mean, it looks good.
Yeah, thanks. I love it. You know, before I had my hair transplant, Dr. Bosley walked up behind me. He was a sneaky guy, and he put his hand on my head and said, "Ed, sneaking up on you from behind." And sure enough, when I looked in the mirror and my wife started getting on me, it became obvious I needed to do something. I had already been in the industry for, I don't know, 7, 8 years, and so it was a new experience for me to sit down in the chair and be on that side of things, and really that helped my understanding of what patients experience when they go through a hair transplant, the physical part of it, and then when the hairs start to grow, the elation you feel when you look in the mirror and you see your hair growing.
We've talked to some of the other doctors with Bosley, and they say that every day they see transformations. That means to some people, it's a life change to get the hair back. Can you elaborate on that?
Well, that's true for a lot of people. People come in and you look at their before pictures. We have before and after pictures here, and you know, they're feeling kind of down. You can see it in their face, and they come back later and their hair is growing, and you see the big smiles. And sometimes they'll come in with a spouse who has some thank yous to give as well, and it makes the whole thing fun to do. So when I do my work every day, I'm constantly getting this positive feedback. Patients come in, they've got their hair back, they look in the mirror, and let's face it, everybody's body image contains hair. And for me, a couple of pounds lighter, but we'll set that aside. The hair, it makes such a huge difference. And people find that they're more energetic, they feel better about themselves, they're working harder at their careers, they start doing other things, they lose weight, they go to the gym. I mean, it's remarkable what happens for people.
We're gonna take a quick break. We come back, I wanna see some of the photos that you brought us. You're watching The Wellness Hour. I'm Randy Alvarez. We'll be right back.
Hair restoration is no longer a myth. It's a scientific fact. After decades of extensive research, there are now new, highly effective non-surgical restoration techniques. Bosley introduces TriGen with Power Matrix PRP, a scientific advancement in hair loss.
It felt very good hearing from my wife or from my coworkers, hey, that stuff's working.
Having my hair back means so much to me. I'm happy when I look in the mirror.
TriGen with Power Matrix PRP is a simple, powerful treatment that helps you preserve the hair you have, stimulate new hair growth, and promote stronger, healthier hair. It uses a breakthrough technique in hair restoration called platelet-rich plasma, or PRP. We collect a small amount of your blood and enrich the plasma. We extract the platelet-rich plasma and inject it into your areas of hair loss. The platelet-enriched plasma promotes the biostimulation of your scalp, helping to both regrow your hair and thicken existing hair. Bosley's unique Power Matrix PRP process strategically creates a matrix in the scalp, allowing the nutrients to synergistically work together to restore your hair. We'll choose the right Bosley professional strength products for you. Their ingredients will nourish and invigorate your scalp and hair to prevent further hair loss and promote regrowth, all while leaving your hair looking fuller, richer, and healthier. Finally, we'll give you one of our clinical strength low-level laser therapy devices. This will provide a specific wavelength of light for your scalp, stimulating tissue molecules. With just a few brief sessions per week, you can regrow and strengthen your hair from the privacy of your own home.
I would absolutely say go do this. Go do PRP, especially with Bosley. Not only did I feel comfortable, I loved what the whole process looked like. I loved how they took care of me, and I'm just thrilled.
It was very quick as far as the procedure. I was in and out in 15, 20 minutes. Came home, went to work the next day. My wife started noticing and I started noticing real hair growth. This stuff actually works. I'm absolutely a Bosley believer.
At Bosley, we know exactly why you're losing your hair, and we know how to naturally regrow it.
The science is proven, and Bosley is the world's most experienced hair restoration expert. Get your hair back. We can help.
You're watching The Wellness Hour, news that makes you healthier. I'm Randy Alvarez. Today's topic, what you need to know if you're considering any type of hair restoration procedure. With us, we have an expert on the topic, Dr. Edwin Suttleson. Dr. Suttleson, welcome back.
Thank you. Good to be back.
Now, you've seen this procedure become more mainstream.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
Like now it's acceptable.
Well, not only is it acceptable, but because it's virtually undetectable, you can come and have a hair transplant and nobody actually needs to know. Some guys run around, they tell everybody, and we like that because it's good for our business. But other guys, you know, they hide it, and the fact that they've had it done and nobody can tell. You know, I'll be standing in a group of people and people come and say, you know what, I don't want to have this done because I can always tell. I can always tell. And you can't. They're looking right at me. You know, these are grafts. I dare anybody to tell me that these look different than untransplanted hairs.
Do you get compliments on your hair?
Yeah, all the time.
Do the patients ask, have you had it done?
Yeah, all the time. In fact, if I'd known that, I would have had my hair transplant earlier just so I could present it to the patients.
Do patients say that? Do they
done.
say, I wish I would have done this years ago?
Oh, yeah. Constantly. I don't know what I was. They say that when they're sitting in the chair. They're having their hair transplant done. You go, this is so easy. I wish I'd had this done years ago. What did I wait for?
So most of the guys that do this, do you find that they're kind of miserable or insecure about their hair for like 3 to 5 years before they actually do it?
Yeah, a lot of guys wait. It's typical to see 3 to 7 years actually, where a guy notices he's having hair troubles and starts to do something about them. And we'd like to shorten that time. We'd like the guys to feel comfortable to come in and get information and get started on their restoration earlier, because the longer you wait is just the more days you got to look in the mirror at the thing that's bothering you.
Now you want them to get this free packet. You send out a packet.
Yeah.
What are they going to learn from this packet?
Well, they're going to learn about hair loss in general, about what a hair transplant is, about what it looks like in the end, and a little bit about cost, and then be invited in for a consultation, which is free. You can get the best, most up-to-date hair information at a Bosley office for free. You can see the doctor, get a plan, find out what it's all about, how much it costs, and then make a decision if that's what you want to do. You know, not everybody decides to have a hair transplant, but everybody who walks out of our office knows all about hair loss. They know why they're losing hair, how it looks, how bad it could get, and what they can do to make it better.
We're going to take a quick break. We come back, I want to see some of the photos that you brought us. You're watching The Wellness Hour. I'm Randy Alvarez. We'll be right back.
The main reason that a Bosley restoration works is because we're taking hair from the back of the head, hair that is resistant to DHT, hair that is permanent, and we're moving it to the front of the head where it's going to continue to grow for the rest of the patient's life. You can do whatever you want with it. If you want to make a mohawk, you can make a mohawk. If you want to color it, you can color it. You can cut it, do whatever you want to do. It is your own real hair.
When you come in for your free Bosley consultation, you'll meet with a physician just like myself. We'll go over your medical history, we'll examine your scalp, we'll do a microscopic scalp analysis to get at the root of what's going on, what's behind your hair loss.
And then we're gonna design a custom treatment plan. So when you walk out of our office, you're gonna know how to take back control of your hair loss problems and what our restoration process can do to really help give you that fuller, thicker head of hair.
I thought, you know, my hair is gone. I'm never going to be able to run my fingers through my hair again. But now I put it through, and it's just like, this is my hair. It's, you know, it's thick. It feels, it's real hair.
Hey everybody, I'm Dean Banowitz, Hollywood hair guy, celebrity stylist. Everybody asks how they can look younger. And when you have a fuller, thicker head of hair, you're gonna look a lot younger. Well, people always think I do have the most amazing hair. They don't realize that I actually have had a Bosley restoration. Since I've had my restoration done, I've probably sent close to 50 people to Bosley. Not only because it's amazing and it works, but they guarantee it. And the key is it's prevention, retention, and restoration. Now, I have a full head of hair, beautiful, shiny hair that I can color, I can cut, and I can style it any way. I can do all of that, whatever I want, because now I have hair.
Bosley gave me my hair back. I can pull on my hair, I can do whatever I want with my hair, I can mess my hair up.
I battled hair loss for about 20 years until I decided to finally get the procedure done. And thanks to Bosley, now I have hair. I have hair where I did not have hair.
When I first started noticing I was losing my hair, I was about 28. One of the first triathlons I ever did. All I was thinking about was pulling off my swim cap and how bad my hair was gonna look. I look back and I didn't realize how much it affected me until after I got it done. If I have any regrets, it's that I didn't call Bosley sooner.
So here's my before photo. I got a good widow's peak going on, a good horseshoe pattern. I don't even recognize this guy. Now, after Bosley hair restoration, I have a great head of hair, and I could not even be happier.
We combine all the medical development, the scientific development, and translate that into an artistic outcome. You want it to be artistically wonderful. You want it to look like a great head of hair, and that's what we pride ourselves in at Bosley.
You're watching The Wellness Hour, news that makes you healthier. I'm Randy Alvarez. Today's topic, what you need to know if you're considering any type of hair restoration procedure. With us, we have an expert on the topic, Dr. Edwin Suttleson. Dr. Suttleson, welcome back.
Thank you. Good to be back.
You brought some photos.
I brought some photos.
And these are your patients.
These are 3 of my patients, and they're demonstrative photos for the kind of the different things that we do. So this is a hair transplant. Dean is a celebrity hairstylist, and you can imagine for a hairstylist to be losing his hair and having to cover up his hair every day, it's a terrible strain. Put a lot of, you know, it puts a lot of stress on you. And for Dean, he came in and he wanted to have this done. He was, you know, he looked at a number of different places, and fortunately he came and let us do it. And this is a typical hair transplant that we used to do a few years ago, where we removed the hair from the back and put in some stitches and put him in the front, and now he's got a great appearance. And every day he looks in the mirror and says, thank you, Bosley, for allowing me to do my job and look my best. And
now,
that's really important for him.
Now with Bosley, and I've talked to your medical director, Dr. Washenik, and he says that you guys have all the newest stuff. You even have the newest robot that's out there. So you have access to everything.
We have access to all of the modern treatments, surgical, non-surgical. We have all the information, and there's no charge to come in and have a consultation and find out all about it.
Now you have more photos.
More photos. Here's another fellow who's had a hair transplant. He's in the music business. He's a composer and a musician, and he had a different sort of procedure where we remove hairs from the back without making an incision and doing stitches. It's called Follicular Unit Extraction, becoming more and more popular. It's about half of our work these days. And as you can see, he got his hairline back. He's a young guy, and it gives him a lot more confidence.
So you have this TriGen. You call it TriGen. What is that?
This is a way without having a procedure that you can preserve your hair and allow for some regrowth.
So this is a non-surgical
approach where we take the things that we know are most effective in preserving and regrowing hair and put them together in one package. So you'll have something to put on your scalp. You can have something injected into your scalp. You can use a laser light to help, and all of these things produce regrowth of hair.
Does it work?
And it works. It's unbelievable.
People need to know, when you go to any Bosley location, before you actually get your procedure, the hair restoration procedure, you're going to meet a medical doctor. Is that right?
That's correct. We don't do any procedures without the medical doctor evaluating to make sure you're a candidate, that you're safe for the procedure's safe for you, and we have a particular diagnosis and plan in place. So every patient sees the doctor before a procedure. In addition, we offer all sorts of information and information sources, including counselors. We have a great online website where you can get information about hair loss.
Okay, in the packet, you also offer this free packet for this program?
That's right. If you'll give us a call, we'll send you out a packet that has preliminary information in it, and you can learn a lot from that as well.
Okay, great. I want to thank you for coming on the show.
Thank you, Randy. Pleasure to see you.
You've been watching The Wellness Hour. I'm Randy Alvarez for now. I wish you good health.
Thanks for watching The Wellness Hour, the leader in medical news with your host, Randy Alvarez, the authority on health issues.